Does this mean we're still recording?
We are now.
We made
Okay.
it too big.
Okay.
I'm just keeping the file sizes under control because, god damn it, I'm going to have trouble rendering this all off later. Anyways.
This is gonna be a project.
Yeah, I'm going to be like just sitting there listening to us.
I'll hop on Skype with you and keep you entertained. Okay, so yeah, what is the next subject on our list?
Question Flash525 asks, what is the cryptics policy where other designs from other games are concerned? The Deep Space Nine Dominion Wars game has the Federation Achilles, Klingon Kvorcha, and a couple of Cardassian designs. The Armada game has the Romulan Griffin and Shrike, along with a bunch of other Cardassian and Klingon designs. I'm sure there are other Trek games out there with further designs. Are we ever likely to see any of these within STO? No.
You know, honestly, I don't really care about this. I've played a lot of games, and there aren't a lot of ships that I care about that aren't in the game already, so
okay.
Honestly, short answer, don't care. Next question?
Alright, I'm going to read his answer. Good question. Our license with CBS is restricted to the TV shows, the movies, up to Nemesis, the animated series, and some of the book fiction. Unfortunately, this license doesn't extend to other video games. However, if those ships or factions appeared in any of the previously mentioned properties, then it is fair game. So this is what you do, Flash525. Okay? This is what you got to do. You go to Pocket Books, and you write a story that's got the Premonition and the ship from Star Trek Away Team in it, and you bug Pocket Books until they publish those, and then Star Trek Online can use them. Don't do this. Don't try this. I would love to see the Premonition in the game. The Premonition is from Star Trek Armada, and it's basically a bigger, badder version of the Sovereign, and it looks really badass. But like most of the ships that you have mentioned, like for example the Griffin, the Shrike, are designs from Armada, which was published by Activision, which they are probably going to get the rights to use sometime after Hell freezes over. So the odds are no. Like Dominion Wars, I think was published by I expect it wasn't like a Spectrum Holobyte. It was the same. I think it was published by the same guys who did Deep Space Nine: The Fallen, but I don't remember who they were. It's probably sad because they were pretty big back then.
Simon and Schuster.
Simon and Schuster. Yeah, that's right. I think Simon and Schuster are the guys who did Dominion Wars as well. So, like, what is the status of Simon and Schuster? Like, where do their properties lie now? Because I don't think they still exist.
They probably got bought out by some random company, and who knows what happens to their rights. But why don't again? I don't really have too much to say on this one. It's whatever y'all want to do now.
Oh, Simon & Schuster is owned by CBS, so no problem.
Yeah, there would be no problem there.
There you go. There you go. Bring in the Achilles.
Yeah, if they're owned, then screw it.
Maybe you can bring in Tom Riker, too.
But then again, who knows who has the rights to their ships? Because who knows if it's a completely separate license.
That's true. So it may have been published or developed or published by Simon and Schuster. I think The Fallen was developed by Simon and Schuster and published by somebody else.
So again, we'll find out. Maybe if it was published by like Activision, God, who knows? We'll never get that fucking one.
So just write a book with the Achilles in it and bug Pocket Books until they pick it up and sell it.
Works for me. All right. Next topic.
And that way, and the Achilles has the broadside torpedo launchers. So there you go.
That would be kind of awesome.
Broadside quantum torpedo launchers.
Ship more like a pirate ship is okay with me.
All right.
Yo ho, yo ho.
Okay. Jerowalk 0769. Oh, I'm looking down. There's a hell of numbers coming at me.
Don't worry about the numbers.
We'll still consider implementing savable ship-specific Dolphin BOF configurations. Dan Stahl answers, yes, our goal is to get this in-game sometime this year before the next winter event in either Season 8 or 9. That's kind of like that's a very vague gesture of like, sometime this year.
Basically, it's,
not even saying it will be sometime this year. Just a plan on it being sometime this year.
So yeah,
Yep.
That's a convenience feature I can easily see them skipping over.
Yeah.
It's an important feature because off the top of my head right now, I have 6 ships that I fly. 3 of them have completely different BOF layouts, and all of them have different DOF setups because God knows all my ships have different builds, so I adjust my DOFs accordingly. Now, and it's irritating. Oh shit, why aren't my abilities? Oh right, I don't have my DOFs. So then I have to take time, and then God knows when the game decides to tell you to go fuck yourself and screw your entire skill bar up, like anytime you switch to a fucking shuttle. So yeah, I would love that.
well, to be fair, the number of times you were required to use a shuttle in this game are very, very, very few.
Oh no, I understand. I'm just,
But they should be increased, if not
Yeah.
required, and at least be a viable option.
What I want are missions. Again, this goes back to like updating the graphics engine. This may be me dreaming the impossible dream, but what I would really like are missions that require atmospheric flight in shuttles. That would probably,
I was about to say that we need at least one mission inside the atmosphere of a planet.
we do.
we need those missions that can really give shuttlecraft their own character as far as how
Yeah.
they control. Because right now they're basically just miniature starships. And, like, the things you do with the shuttles, especially if you use the glitch that allowed you to bring a fucking Bortosk into, like, the vault. Anything
Okay.
you can do in a shuttle, you can do better in a ship. So,
All I
that's
have
all
to
they are,
say
so-
is 5 Aatroxes was fucking hilarious. That is all. How we got them through those doors, I'm pretty sure I needed a new paint job, but it was still funny.
it's like Galaxy Quest. It was just a big
industrial
scratch.
strength lubricant.
Oh, that's why I bought those 55 gallon drums of. Anyway,
It's like Red Dwarf. There's just somebody on rafters outside the ship with a giant roller.
oh Jesus.
Okay, so,
Great idea. Will it be implemented? Probably not.
probably not the... maybe, like, if it's implemented this year from the language here, it's probably towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Because they, supposedly have a great deal on their plate. So,
Yeah.
if they're going to take care of it this year, it'll be later on.
It would be a nice addition nonetheless.
Okay.
Next question.
Okay, MVP 101287 Jesus asks, are we considering the addition of a section in the duty officer user interface for listing which assignments are on cooldown and how long is left? This would help alleviate some of the player confusion over why an assignment might not be available at any specific time. Daniel Stahl answers, the duty officer UI in general is something we will be addressing after the release of Season 8, and we will be looking heavily to incorporate some of the great feedback like this into the new design. If we can get this into Season 9, we will. Same thing as before.
Yeah, it's another. If you look at any of the Ask Cryptics when a season was, a distant away, what do they say? Well, we have so much on our plate right now, it's going to have to wait till next season, and then when it doesn't come out, oh, we have a lot on our plate for this season, so
Yeah.
it's coming out next season. It's the same cycle. Yes, a new DOF and BOF UI would be very nice, or a DOF UI would be incredibly useful, but again, who knows if we'll see it anytime this year. Guys? Oh, my game crashed. Speaking of that. Anything on from you guys? Seem to be doing all the talking here.
I can hear you.
I know, but we want your input too.
I'm just thinking about stuff, man, and flying around blowing shit up.
Oh,
I think the DOF UI can be improved, but a lot of times it's just mindless.
click, click,
you-
click,
You
click,
get
click.
the goal I found is to basically get enough good DOFs that you can use on all missions. And
Yeah,
just start clicking.
Basically all it is. I mean, good DOFs, 22 missions, fly around space for half an hour, get all the missions started, and rinse and repeat.
Like I
It is
said,
fun.
if you had input on how the mission went via the pad or equipping whoever's going on this mission with whatever stuff, It would make it a lot. It would make it a lot more game-like. Like there'd be stuff to do. So.
Yeah, it's a great little side thing to do. I found it enjoyable to get all my things to tier 5, tier 4, and now it's I still have a use for it because I can get a shit ton of fleet marks from it. So,
Okay, so my piece, I think that the DOF user interface could use work, but there is so much else in the game's UI that could use more work, and requires more immediate work.
yeah, like the combat UI.
Like the combat UI, like the fact that the UI is just broken up into crap that is all over the place. And I think there's a significant amount of the UI that could just be consolidated into one big MFD that would alleviate a lot of the trouble and a lot of the frame issues. Like it would, for people who don't, or for people with ATI cards, which the game does not like, this would alleviate a lot of the issues they have because the UI is this massive memory hog.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm a very small minority on this one, but if you try to run this game in 3D, oh, it's a resource disaster.
Yeah.
I figured as much. I mean, I know people that do run it in 3D, but fuck that. I mean, I now have a 3D capable display, but I tried it for like 20 minutes and got sick because I don't know why, but 3D does not agree with me at all. It makes me really sick. I can't watch. I was actually invited to go watch The Hobbit in 3D, and you know, I went in and watched about first major like
You watched it all
like,
to like Radagast or something, right?
Yeah, no, I watched it at an IMAX in real 3D or whatever it's called.
No, I mean like
And-
up to the point where like the Seventh Doctor shows up with.
Something like the first major, like where it does the sweeping landscape view.
It's a
The
Lord,
first time it did that 360 spin, it made me so. I actually threw up in the theater.
It's a Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movie. You'll have to be.
Yeah,
more
I mean, I've
specific.
watched all the Peter Jackson movie or all the Lord of the Rings, and those don't bother me. But the first time I watched it in 3D, it made me really sick. And playing this game on 3D with all the movement required, especially in an escort, which I was flying at the moment, it made me just about throw up, and I haven't been able to do it again. So
Seriously speaking, check with an eye doctor. A lot of the times it's some kind of an eye problem will do that. If your vision's close to correct, but not quite.
2015 is my vision.
That might
just-
be what's throwing it off.
It might be because my right eye is like actually above perfect. So, but my left eye is just.
If it's one eye is slightly off from the other, that'll do it.
No, it is. And there's honestly no correction because if I wore glasses, it'd bring my vision up to 20/20, and like it really the only thing that bothers me is 3D. But now we're going off on something that we shouldn't be talking about in a Star Trek video.
All right.
Oh, why not? Look at Geordi.
Point taken.
Yeah, yeah,
The
but
next question actually is something you were talking about, Al.
okay,
Yep.
let me look at the next question. Let's see, in general. Okay, Eradicator 84, PvEQ player numbers. Any chance you can bring them back? Daniel Stahl answers, the software team is looking into returning this column to the queue and adjusting the number of players in the queue to be more accurate than it was before. All the numbers messing me up. Previously, it was incorrect most of the time, but since queues fire off frequently, it probably wasn't noticed without seeing the actual data. Maybe it was incorrect, but it still gave you a decent idea of how many people might be
least a
queued
rough
up in
idea.
that. Yeah, it may have been a false positive, but it's better than no positives at all.
I have to ask, what does Brent Spiner have to do with any of this? Wrong data? Wrong data. My bad. I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke, and I'm probably going to hell now.
But
Anyway.
but yeah,
Ooh!
I deserve that one.
I don't
Probably
think
deserve.
I don't think they have to like go to all the trouble of like it'd be nice if it was more accurate, but I don't think they need to go to all of that trouble. Just restore the numbers to the queue.
Yeah,
And-
even if
and-
it's inaccurate, people liked
Just
it.
restore it and worry about making it more accurate later.
Yeah,
It doesn't, because
Best
what it was useful for was when if you could, especially the fleet actions, like not the fleet actions, the one you do for the fleet.
you
march.
could see which. You may not be able to tell exactly who's in a queue or how many there actually are, but you could see which ones were hopping. So you
Yeah.
could jump on one of those and get in and just get in there
Ins-
really quickly.
Again, instead of sitting in the fucking queue like I did for 48 minutes for the Vault Shuttle event.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid event sucked anyway. God, I hated that mission.
The event wasn't bad. It was all the bugs in the events.
It was
Again, going back to just be glad you never played the pre-season 5 STFs. They were fun, but they were just so stupidly broken and buggy and
3 hours to 6 hours long. Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, where we can do
yeah.
all 6 we can do 6 of the 8 STFs in the time it take to do like the original Cure. So,
like,
yeah.
God, that was the great. I have said it before. I'll say it again. The original Cure Ground was the great ender of fleets. Like the Cure,
Yep.
like Cure Ground is what killed the fucking Space Neon Lobsters.
Seriously.
It's what caused like a lot of people like just like the whole group broke up. We never finished that fucking STF. And shortly after that, I took like a month or two break from the game, and I came back. The Space Neon Lobsters were dead. Nobody had logged on in forever.
Bring him back. Good question. Next topic.
All right.
We're coming up on one of the questions I actually care about pretty soon. But yeah, there you go. Next question.
Okay. Joel Zidane asks, 20 years of Deep Space Nine and no celebration in Star Trek Online. Daniel Saul answers, we wish we could create events and celebrations for every Trek holiday or anniversary. Right now, the team is primarily focused on the upcoming release of Season 8. Having more in-game celebrations is something we plan to get better at, and you can look forward to more effort in this area in the future. Weren't they talking about having some kind of Gene Roddenberry Day?
Yeah, but that's like later in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It was
late
a
in the
little
year.
too late last year for them to do it, but they were
Gene
talking
Rod-
about...
Gene Roddenberry Day, where you can't fight at all your weapons are offline, and you have to go about your business.
Where
And you
human...
can't spend any money. The only ship you could fly is a Galaxy, Miranda, or a Constitution.
I remember people were talking about having something from like something else that was produced or touched by Gene Roddenberry, and I vote Force Lance if that happens. I am making metal horns right now.
Parasites that fired the energy blast.
Oh, like what is that? The Skrills? The
yes,
Skrills
I couldn't
from-
remember the
from
name
Final
of it.
Conflict?
Skrill.
Yeah, like those guys are Force Lances, and when I say Force Lance, I am making metal horns because the Force Lances were fucking awesome. Like, imagine for a moment, like a handheld weapon that fired smart bullets that would track a target, and in close quarters combat, you could push a button, and basically, it's kind of like a wand sort of thing. But you push a button and it extends into this quarterstaff, and you can bludgeon the crap out of things. Imagine how awesome that would be in an STF.
I wouldn't. I'm for that because this game needs a lot of things, and among those is more melee variety.
I mean, it's non-canon. That's true. But you know, if we're celebrating Gene Roddenberry, then you could do well to expose people to like other stuff that he did, as well as Star Trek.
Maybe non-canon, but so are the energy blade weapons.
Yeah, this game's not very concerned.
Non-nanopulse
it's
are
a
technically canon.
It's a canon. It is a canon reference, and it isn't because it's not like a laser, and it's not nanopulse. It's plasma containing a magnetic field, and we can do that already. So it is a canon reference in name, but not a canon reference in execution.
The way it shows up.
Yeah. Like if they wanted to make it look more canon, then the blade shouldn't be like these big. Even though they look cool and they look like something out of Unreal Championship 2, especially if you're wearing Mako armor, and that's cool, I guess. But if they wanted to make them look more canon, then the blade should basically just be a line, like contained between 2 points that is being projected across. If you get where I'm going with Lurpa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like instead of just being like this energy blade hovering over it, it should basically be just this line of plasma being projected from these 2 points contained within a magnetic field, and there's your Lurpa right there. And the other side should be a bludgeon anyways, because that's what it is on a Lurpa. And if you're gonna like put like a laser spear on one end, I at least want to use it as more than just a bludgeon. I want to throw that thing.
Yeah. The Force Lance, if they're going to put it in game, wouldn't even be that difficult game mechanics-wise. You make your primary attack like using a pistol, your secondary like using a sniper weapon, because it can track a target and fire, and then your melee attack have it actually extend out momentarily and smack something.
Yeah, and you could combo with that thing pretty easily. And there you go.
Yep, fun. Don't really care about Gene Roddenberry today because he kind of ruined the first couple seasons of TNG, but would be awesome just because. Shut up. They didn't happen.
The child that needs.
Look, I don't want to talk about the Gorgon. Let's move on. Janeway's. I think that's Janeway's mother, but I could be wrong.
Are you two talking about Catherine Pulaski?
The one that kind of just fell off the Enterprise without a near tip of the hat or a farewell.
I'm telling you, torpedo tube.
Is that your answer for everything? A torpedo tube?
Replicator accident.
Think about it. It's like the space version of walking the plank. Or is that
Shove
airlock?
No, that would be airlocking somebody.
On the subject of in-game holidays, they actually need some in-game holidays from the Star Trek universe that were mentioned, but aren't actually related to normal holidays in the real world.
I vote for Life Day.
Only if Cryptic gets like an official Twitch channel and streams a Star Wars holiday special. Every fucking year.
Just let's move on before we.
If you want to have a pissing contest between franchises, that's how you do it. Remember this? Have fun playing Tor.
Oh God!
April Fool's Day.
Please, let's just move on before I kill something.
I like to see Kolinar. Like Vulcan characters can like undergo Kolinar or something. That's kind of a holiday, right? The lack of celebration. That's a holiday for Vulcans.
Fun! Alright, let's move on to the next question.
Okay, let's see.
And one we should skip is the Spanish.
We should have all of the Bajoran holidays from Deep Space Nine.
I hate Bajorans.
Especially the most nonsensical ones, like the time of cleansing where you can't do anything.
How about no?
We should have the Bajoran Gratitude Festival. You know, the one where everybody...
so I can finally do something with my Bajoran anal gratuity beads?
You mean the one where I send my DOF officers on it every once in a while and they get blown up by terrorist bombings? That's some gratitude for you.
That's right. Let's not get into nonsensical DOF missions like repairing the turbo lifts, because apparently even an exocomp and an emergency medical or an emergency engineering hologram can't figure it out without ending up in sickbay.
Which is strange because an exocomp can fly.
I want to fail.
Tease, did you just watch my EPO?
I want a failed turbo lift maintenance accident to be an attack in space combat.
Just watch the turbo lift go fly.
What is that? Turbo lift.
Close range torpedo.
I mean, literally, I have done that mission 30 times.
Wasn't that a
fail?
Wasn't that a glitch when people visited each other's bridges a long time ago?
Oh God.
People would
Oh,
step into the
God.
turbo lift and it would rocket them into space.
Yes! Or you take it down to engineering and you'd end up on top of the ship.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Not be
Apparently,
proud.
Oh, no.
you had a 5 version of your ship.
No, my favorite one is my Klingon side. I kept trying to go to Kronos and ended up at the fucking shipyard. So what did I do? I took my transporter officer and had his ass summarily executed for incompetence.
You get to work on the turbo lifts now.
No, I had his
Accidentally kill every chef that doesn't
Yeah,
start cycling on a
You can, like, take a Doff and, like, fucking murder his ass on the Klingon side.
Yes, and every time, like,
And
Grant...
still rewarded for it.
Oh, the Federation needs... Oh no, we don't need to execute him. We could just send him on turbo lift maintenance.
Reassignment to someplace very cold and dark.
Reassigned to the Breen homeworld.
Oh.
At least they know what the hell they look like.
Just mentioning Scotty triggered this in my head. We need a Dyson sphere in the game somewhere.
Well,
That'd be kind of fun.
You mean a Dyson shell in the game somewhere?
Shuttle mission.
Oh, God.
That episode
Nothing.
continues
Fly
to
holes
crack me
using
up.
That, no problem.
Yeah.
Alright,
Okay,
again, next subject.
Quick nerd moment among nerd moments I've already had so far in this conversation. A Dyson sphere is a series of satellites orbiting a star to collect all of the energy from it. A Dyson shell is a large construct that completely envelops a star to collect all of the energy from it. And a Dyson shell is what they encountered in Relics.
What about a Dyson ball?
That is a really overpriced
What
vacuum.
about it?
It's a really overpriced vacuum. It's kind of gimmicky. And they never
Yeah,
encountered
pretty
that.
much.
Okay.
Okay, Nixadrill asks, would it be possible to add a My Favorites tab to the Foundry list, Dewey? There are several excellent Foundry stories that I like to go back to from time to time, but they are fairly well spread through the list. I know we can custom search, which is fine, but it would be nice to be able to add them to a favorites list for quick reference. Daniel Stahl replies, this is one of the features we hope to port over from Neverwinter after they launch, in addition to the ability to subscribe to a Foundry author. Look for this feature late in 2013. This is kind of a good point. I there are some Foundry missions, especially those that are geared towards dailies that I do. And I play Foundry missions, I do, but I like to get that daily out of the way so I don't have to worry about it because there are so many dilithium sinks in this game. So yeah, the favorites tab is kind of something that we could have used already. But look for this feature late in 2013. Thoughts?
Would be very excellent because I have lost a couple of DOF missions and I cannot remember their names or authors. And had I had that, I wouldn't have fucking had to worry about it.
As far as the actual programming side of things, it shouldn't take that much to implement, really.
It shouldn't. I don't think it should.
I mean, realistically, it shouldn't be a complicated thing to add to the game. Although it would mean somebody on the GUI team would have to add that in, and who knows what else they're busy on with the new season and ships and all that.
That's true.
So that a function that probably in all actuality will be implemented.
Probably at some point.
Yep. Next one is
programming-wise, it wouldn't be that hard. It's just they gotta get somebody to get around to doing the graphics for it.
Next
That
one
would
doesn't
be-
matter. It's Spanish. None of us speak it. Well, I do, but I don't care that this game is in Spanish. So can we just skip that question?
Yeah, I'll just go over it really quick.
Okay.
See, Sarah Torag asks, considering that the Spanish is the second most spoken language in the world, and that the Hispanic community in the STO is growing each day, there is a possibility of translating the game into Spanish? Daniel Stahl replies, this is one of the language we are considering along with Portuguese. We are working with the international offices to determine where we might be able to expand and have continuous localization support. Thank you for the request and stay tuned as we work on this issue. How many languages?
Pretty self-explanatory right there.
Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. How many languages are supported? There's German.
German, French, and Italian, and of course English, I think are it.
I
So-
fully support Spanish being added. I mean, they've launched STO in Europe officially, and Spain. In the U.S., you got quite a few people that speak Spanish, and then of course there's Mexico, which I don't know how many players they would have from Mexico, but I don't think it could hurt.
No, I mean, and there's a lot of countries that speak Spanish as a native language, so...
And quite a few that have it as a secondary language.
Yeah, I mean, so hell, it's one of the most spoken languages here in the United States, so wouldn't hurt. Great idea.
Yeah, how about it? Move on.
And the Portuguese they mentioned is closely related to Spanish. So.
Yeah, it's very... and the funny thing is, Italian is incredibly close to Spanish. I mean, incredibly close. My godfather is Sicilian. So, you could tell it's very similar. So, if they already have it in Italian, I don't think it'd take too much to get it in Spanish. So, my thoughts, good idea, not important for what we're talking about.
It'll happen eventually.
It'll happen. No, probably this year. Next question.
Okay, could we see a way where two or maybe even more smaller fleets could form an alliance and build a starbase together? Daniel Stahl answers, that is an interesting option, or similarly, the ability for fleets to merge, that we are considering as a way for smaller fleets to handle some of the challenges to building a starbase, like the fact that the projects don't scale. Nothing has been decided, but it is definitely an interesting option. It would be useful to know if other fleets feel this would be worthwhile, or if there are concerns over something like this. Knowing how insane the project inputs get and the fact that they do not scale at all depending on the size of your fleet, this is probably going to be... if this were implemented, it would be something vital for smaller fleets.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at us and you guys. We're a bigger fleet. I mean, I just looked how many members. We have 186 members in this fleet. I'd say active 20. I mean, that's a really high active number, or a high guess. Could be closer to 10, like, active members. And
you're also forgetting a lot of those are people's alts.
Yeah, it's, again, very true, but in this sense, I think it's a great idea. It needs to happen, because I love this. I was listening to a Priority One, which I now hate with a passion. He basically said, fuck your smaller fleets, join a big fleet. No. I don't want to join your piece of shit fleet. I like my fleet. I like the fleet I'm in. I don't want to leave. I don't want to give up what I have here in this fleet.
I know, let's not hate on other podcasts, though, but I get what you're saying.
All right, I'm not going to...
people who are 4 or 5 people who are friends in real life, they realistically ought to be able to have their own little fleet and not be shut out of having some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you guys, who says you need to be in our fleet? But as an alliance, it'd be awesome, because you'd have the access to we're going to be tier 5, probably, and I don't mean this offensively, before you guys hit tier 3, realistically. And we like you guys, and it'd be awesome if you could merge into our fleet, and, where you don't, or not merge, but where you have an alliance, you have all the access to our stuff, and, you could put inputs, and you guys have our tier starbase, but it's your own fleet. You keep your name, but basically use our starbase, like we do now. And that is not a bug. I talked to Brandflakes. They did that on purpose for people that are in larger fleets to invite the smaller fleets to let them use their stuff.
Yeah, it's all about helping people.
Yeah, where it's not a glitch, it's not some random bug that they didn't know about. It is the way that a bigger fleet can invite a smaller, maybe a friend from a smaller fleet. It uses the other fleet's inputs, but lets them, gives you access to our stuff, which is basically an alliance, because face it, you guys are, have access to anything we have.
Which means that the coolest thing in the entire game eventually will be a 1-tier fleet that has all of the vanity items unlocked but nothing else.
Yeah, or, look at our fleet. We have all the vanity items unlocked that have come out so far.
Well, I just did math. if a fleet in theory was the 5% minimum, I'm sitting here looking at this Starbase Tier 4 upgrade, 1.9 billion dilithium. Assuming all 5 people were getting their 8,000 cap every day, it's 47.5 days worth of dilithium grind for them just on the dilithium.
Yeah, and that's only using it for your for the Starbase, not for Zen, not for anything else.
Yeah, that's just that. Not your reputation system, nothing else. If they're all dumping in, you're talking a month and a half just for the dilithium on that upgrade.
Yeah.
If you costs though like $230-something at the current Zen rates.
Yeah, so I mean, going the cheap way, yeah, but you know, one, I think they lowered it 20%, 10%.
No.
It needs to be lowered another 30%, 20%. Because look, face it. In the next month, all the big-ass fleets will be Tier 5.
Yeah.
All the big fleets will be Tier 5.
Like Stonewall, Caspian, Jupiter Force.
Stonewall, SSC, SSOG, SRS, Jupiter Force. They're all going to be Tier 5. And then just drop back it doesn't even have to be a big change. 15% would honestly help everybody out.
There's also the fact that they're going to be implementing more reputation systems.
Yeah, so that's even more.
Yeah.
Like, do you know? When I hit Tier 5, I had 743,000 dilithium. That's not a miss. I said that 743,000 dilithium. You know how much I'm sitting at right now?
Nothing.
Far less.
20,000.
Yeah.
I hit Tier 5 3 weeks ago? A month ago at most? No, I hit it on the 27th of December.
Another idea Raph had that, I think would be spectacular is have everybody be able to donate a certain amount of unrefined dilithium to a project on the base to have it be refined, but that dilithium can only go into the fleet projects.
See, that is honestly an amazing idea. It works. It's not a, mind you, I have like
some kind of a DOF mission on the fleet base so you can turn over a certain amount of dilithium for refining, have the DOF officers do the refining, and then it goes into the fleet.
Yeah, and make it a one-day mission, and it's like 8,000 of your unrefined. Mind you, I have like 400,000 unrefined dilithium right now. That's doing me no good. I have 50 days? No, I have 500 days worth of dilithium or something like that. I don't know the math off the top of my head, but I have enough dilithium to last me most of this year, and I have nothing to do with it because it's
at the very least have everybody be able to do 1,000 a day.
Yeah, that'd be even 2,000
would be a massive boost for so many of the smaller fleets.
Yeah, even if especially us that have a lot of alts in our fleet, I think all of us can get 1,000 dilithium a day on all of our alts. That would really help out the smaller fleets. It really would. Yeah. But yeah, there needs to be at least an alliance system where, if like a smaller fleet joins an alliance with, like, say you guys joining us, you keep your name, but you have our starbase and you contribute to our projects, but it's still your fleet. Or just have it the way it is now and don't care about the small fleets.
What they honestly need to do is scale, but that's going to be a massive undertaking for programming. It's something that should have been there beforehand.
The whole breaking, like 5 men get to Tier 5,
this goes back to the thing we were talking about earlier with the vote kick. Of course, it could be exploitable, but But here's the thing: you could have people just give up and have fleets constantly breaking up because, and have fleets constantly breaking up because they have their own lives. And while it's great to have this thing that people can work together towards, that luster is going to wear off. When they're looking at these massive numbers of stuff they're going to have to put in, that's going to basically take over their lives if they let it.
To be 100% honest with you, the novelty wore off like 3 months ago, when we hit tier 3 and I noticed how much of a fucking grind this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the novelty, it was awesome for the first month. Like, holy shit, we have a star base. And now it's just like, yeah, it's just another... Yeah, it's a chore.
The rewards are nice, but boy, it takes a lot.
So
Yeah,
so
it
you
actually
can
goes
have,
back to what I said earlier about how I'm not really an MMO guy. I kind of hated them. But Stowe was actually good enough to break me free of that prejudice and actually get me to play it.
yeah,
I've noticed that the way they're running it kind of is very like MMO-ish, where it's just a time sink.
in the end, it's all MMOs are the same. I find that this one a lot better for the time sink because it's got space combat, and
Yeah,
there aren't many. And yeah, Eve has space combat, but it's not as much fun as this game's.
that's point.
Real-
Like, concept, though, so.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, look at my gun shoot. No, this game actually, well, unless you're flying an escort in PvE and you're just sitting there with your nose to them and dacking away.
the combat
the
in
only
Eve
game
is
I
a lot
played
more
with space
deep. But
combat that I enjoyed more was Ace Online, and the combat was the only good thing it had going for it.
Never heard of that one.
It was grindy as all get out. It was fun for about the first 10 or 15 levels, and then it just slowed down to such a crawl of a grind to level up that it was awful. It was literally just go kill 40 of this enemy, report back.
Yeah, grind will kill a game.
Yeah, and this game definitely has a grind, but compared to what my friends have told me about WoW, it's not that bad.
Yeah, Ace Online was fun for the combat, but it was that grind killed it. But it was actually like a fighter-type combat for what some people expressed they wish STO had, where you're directly piloting the ship and had to line up your guns and that type of combat.
The only type I would mind having true fighter combat is in a shuttle, but I'm sorry, I don't want to see an Odyssey do a barrel roll. I'm just saying.
Well,
that would be
I
retarded.
kind of do.
I mean, I do, but...
well,
Well, it would be fun to see because think how long it would take it to do it.
I suggest that you go play Bridge Commander again, sir, because I used to pull barrel rolls in a Galaxy all the time.
Are you sure they're doing a loop? 2 minutes later. Yeah, they are.
But as for like flying, I can see that being really, although you'd have to get the hit detection right, because what you've got right now is based on die rolls, and if you want to like fly a ship like a fighter and shoot at things, then you can't have it based on die rolls.
you really can't, and I mean it's noticeable.
You had to line up your guns, but then it was still like your die roll system as long as you had it lined up on it.
No, I do find it funny because the best way to put it is subspace jump. Because I have fired torpedoes at somebody's, as somebody was behind me, hit subspace jump, was behind them, and literally watched my torpedoes do it was just retarded looking. They just stopped and went backwards, like...
Well,
I'm like,
it gets even worse. Ambeculus tried hitting me with scatter volley once, and I used subspace jump, and the beam he fired. Yeah, the beam, the shots he fired stopped, turned around, and flew back towards me.
They flew over my head and hit him.
That is retarded.
So yeah, it couldn't be based on die rolls. You couldn't have it work that way. It would have to be based on like I don't know, like hit scan or something.
Yeah, the game said I was hitting him, so the shots hit him. So.
Yeah, again, it'd be kind of cool to watch, but
for like small craft, like small like fighting ships, like Defiance and stuff, I can see that working.
yeah, see, I wouldn't mind if the smaller escorts had it, like basically the Bop, the Jem'Hadar, and the Defiant, because those are the only 3 small escorts, like compared to like even the patrol escort.
For that matter, the actual fighters.
Aquarius.
Yeah. Scale. Cough. 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 oh, my bad. Yeah, this game has horrible scaling. I'm sorry. The Odyssey should be bigger than it is, and the Defiant should be a lot smaller than it is.
My Armitage is nearly as big as like the saucer and half of a Galaxy.
No,
it outturns everything else.
if you parked your a stock Artie right next to a Galaxy, it is the same length. Like from nacelle to tip to the front of the Galaxy saucer, it's the same size, dude.
Yeah.
It is literally the same size. Yet it has 10 degrees more and like a high inertia. I don't know if it's high or low inertia that
Lower,
makes
it's lower inertia that's
yeah. So
occurring.
it has incredibly low inertia, 10 more turn rate. Yet it's the same exact size. I'm sorry.
There needs to be a console called, like, okay, you want to do a canon, although that's a reference to the JJ film, though.
No
So-
JJ film. It's not allowed.
So I
Fuck
don't
that
think-
film can go fuck itself. Kindly.
Anyway,
Until they
Wow.
introduce something
That's
we all
still-
want to play with in the next one, right?
No, they won't.
I want the Linda to try flying into the ocean of a planet.
You don't want to fly a jellyfish?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't mind seeing that as a low tier science ship. That'd be kind
well,
of
the
cool.
jellyfish
fuck that.
was-
It's an engineer ship. Geordie LaForge made it. It's an engineer
yeah,
ship.
Geordie LaForge designed it.
That's right. You guys are right. It has to be a cruiser.
One
tiny
badass
cruiser.
fucking engineering ship.
A
Fucking
a tiny jellyfish cruiser.
That can load cannons because fuck you, it's canon.
And it can temporal backstep.
Cannon.
Well, it didn't temporal backstep intentionally. It flew through a giant hole in space and time.
Okay, well then I want to
It flew
stabilize
through a
on
plot
whatever
hole.
that weapon does.
Then again, two of my ships are powered by red matter and micro black holes, so whatever.
Yeah. God,
Yeah.
tangents these tonight.
Maybe it should be an exotic matter lens that we get for Gene Roddenberry Day.
Anyway, since we're going on random tangents in Trek, what is the next question on the list?
Okay, let's see. How do we get there from, like, smaller fleets merging? Anyways, Eisen W0LF. I think it's supposed to be Eisenwolf, but I will read it the way it is typed. Will the KDF ever get access to the mercenary costume? There are lots of alien characters on the red side who would love to have something to wear which is not an Omega armor or a distinctive Klingon outfit. Some people like to play a Cardassian or Romulan, and they look just stupid in the outfits currently available to the KDF. I think Klingons, I think this guy just called your outfit stupid. Dan Stahl answers, we agree with you that non-Klingons need more costume options, although we don't necessarily think they look stupid. Rest assured
Get
that
pwned, kid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He just called you a jackass, and you deserve it.
Rest assured that we are working on some new uniforms for the KDF side in Season 8 that are similar to the mercenary outfits because not all KDF players want to wear spiky boots and shoulder pads. The spiky boots, yeah, like I kept browsing for like boots that were not spiky, but the only boots that are not spiky are cross-faction boots. And I
Yeah,
got
the bulky
those.
tall.
or
Everyone
the
needs more outfits.
or the leather
It's
the
hard to
leather
have a
in
Klingon
the Academy
dressed like
version.
he belongs in an 80s metal band.
That's actually kind of good. Oh God.
Are you
yes.
saying there's something wrong with an entire civilization that dresses like members of KISS?
Yeah, I am saying there's something wrong with them.
Or something right.
You know what this game, now that they've introduced PvP boot camp, and I know this is completely off topic, but there needs to be an STF boot camp. I just did Cure Space Normal while we were talking. I killed all 3 cubes and the probes, or I killed 2 cubes and the probes, no. I killed all the probes and 2 cubes solo in a carrier. Well,
Yeah.
it has cannons, but
You do realize that the Jem'Hadar carrier is a broken piece of shit, right?
it's my broken piece of shit that I spent 90 mil on. But
Until they nerf it next week.
shut up, asshole. I hope they
Dude,
nerf
done
your
it to
class
every
into.
ship I've ever bought out of the C-store. Every single ship I've bought has either been broken or they broke it later.
The special skin for the patrol escort with 8 weapons. But
hey,
that's
hey! In all fairness, if I ever delete that ship, it's gone, and I got no credit for it for buying the fleet variant.
Doesn't matter. Had sex. I mean, what?
Hey, they eventually took the rear weapon off.
Eventually, after what, 7 seasons? 6?
Like 5.5 seasons, 6 seasons.
Oh God.
Hey,
but still,
I reported it when it first happened. It's not my fault they sat on that for so long.
Yeah.
all I do say, there needs to be an STF boot camp, because when a guy in a massive ass ship can solo 2 sides while 4 cruisers sat there and basically all they did was kill the probes on the 3rd cube, there is something wrong with this game. And don't tell me it's because I was in a broken piece of shit, because I did that in the Odyssey.
That's a broken piece
Bad
of
example.
shit. Paid $50 for it.
And how many of the broken piece of shit's consoles did you have on it while you were doing this, sir?
I don't use pay-to-win consoles. I had the board console.
You use pay-to-win ships.
That's not the point here, Ash. The
Like I
point
said,
is,
I don't want to see a freighter with nothing but pay-to-win console in STF.
that would be awesome. But I did not
Actually,
have...
it's really hard to do.
I had no pay-to-win. I had the 0 point and the board console. That's it. Oh, no. I guess if you call the one out of the Lobby store the Tachyokinetic console, if you call that pay-to-win, then it's understandable, but it's not that great. It's
lobby crystals are automatically pay to win. That's
I
like pay
thought-
to win for rich people.
Yeah, I thought so, but I was just saying because it doesn't really do that much. All it really does is 22% to your turn rate.
That's 7% crit rate, right?
Oh, it's 9.2 crit severity and 0.92 crit rate.
Yeah.
So it's not like a super console. It's not like, vent data radiation, AMS, or any of the other real, like, I will consider true pay-to-win consoles. But, yeah. Then again, I had a pay-to-win ship in that fucking, the Temporal Destroyer. That thing was all pay-to-win. I will not deny that. God, that ship was broken.
All right.
I'm not being in that temporal ship for a long, long time.
Oh, but I have one ship that's even more broken than that. My Defiant then can insta-kill anybody.
You sure about that?
Do you really? I actually have tested it. My beams can't, or my Beam Array Overload 3s can hit crit for 193,000 damage. I don't think you could tank that one.
All right.
All right, ladies. Back to topic.
Back on topic. All right, moving on. Keeney75. Keeney75 asks, can there be a way to change the species that we are? When I first joined Stowe, I opted for human. Later on, you released playable Cation faction in the C-store. There's no "the" in there. That's how it's typed. I would love to be a Cation, but I don't want to start again from scratch to do it. Denstall says, now that we are working on a way to respect your traits, this is one option we are considering, but we haven't made a final decision. We generally aren't looking for players to be able to swap their species back and forth as easily as a respec, but we do appreciate that some players may have made a decision that they would like to change. Once we get that trait respec in game, we would like to make a call on whether we will open up this option. If there are others that feel strongly about this, it would be good to see some of the opinions on the forums. I think this was like from earlier before they were talking about.
Yeah, we basically discussed this.
Yeah, we've gone over
it'd be a
this.
nice thing to do, but who knows?
Maybe look at how often it can be done, but for sure people need to be able to do it if they bought a whole new species.
Yeah.
Or in my case, as a lifetime subscriber.
Yeah. Gain access
that's
to after making a character.
Yeah, that'd be like, oh, you have your lifetime, but you have to make a new character to get the Chimera that you get with it, or use any of the fleet skins,
Or if you
or
make a
any of the
Pac-Led.
special abilities of being a lifetimer. So it's something that should be allowed for anybody, but
Oh ho ho! Next question, throwing down the gauntlet.
Oh yes, this is the question that made me want to do a round table on this Ask Cryptic. Chalpin asks, can you give us a definite yes, Season 8 will have KDF-only playable content, or no, none at this time answer? Just one moment. No! Daniel?
Yeah, basically. I'll say that right now. There's not going to be... If there is, it's going to be a Fed...
It'll be faction agnostic.
Yeah, a reskin Fed mission, but I doubt they're going to have anything substantial, which is sad because I think the KDF is kind of an awesome faction. Their ships are cooler looking than Fed ships. No, you didn't. No, I know I'm gonna get hate for that, but I will say it. A lot of the KDF ships look way cooler than the Fed ships.
Listen to Daniel Stahl's answer. The KDF are getting some love in Season 8, but I can't discuss the scope of it yet. As we get closer to the release, more news and specifics will be released along with some previews of what we have been working on. I personally believe that Season 8 will be a positive release for the KDF. That's a really squirrely answer.
I will say it. That's the same answer I saw in an Ash Cryptic from Season 4, before Season 4. Literally, I think that is literally a copy-paste. They just took the 4 and added an 8 to it.
But here's the thing. Before Season 4, they were promising like a Gorn-based featured episode series to launch with Season 4.
Grant, as a massive KDF supporter, you got to answer this one.
I call him fat.
If he's here, that is. I think he's gone. We lost Grant.
Man overboard.
Deez, do you want to answer this one? Because you're also a pretty big KDF player.
Are you calling me fat? What?
God, I hate the people I hang out with. Anyway.
Yes. And go on.
It's
yes,
not it's like if they release content, it would be great if they released KDF only content. It would be awesome. The KDF, the people who have stuck with the KDF deserve it. You know,
they do.
They deserve the content because these guys have been shafted so many damn times over the course of this game.
I think the KDF need a season.
Yeah.
They really, in all honesty, look, us Fed characters, because I'll say it right now, I'm a primary Fed character. I love being on the Fed side. I love the Fed ships. And I will say, I prefer the Fed. But right now, after the story is fleshed out a little bit more, once the story arc is done for both factions, or done in a sense, there needs to be a season that is mostly, if not all, dedicated to the KDF. It probably won't happen, but it's something that they need some fucking love.
Need some love.
It's desperate.
Put it this way, I don't even like the KDF. I don't like the ships. Think they're ugly. I don't like that the UI is red and with a shade of other red.
Yeah.
I don't even like the KDF, put it that way. And I think they should get a season or two because they need to become a full-fledged faction.
Okay, and
not just the whatever we feel like.
And here's the thing, is if you want to make a Romulan faction, you have to fill out the Klingon faction first.
Oh, yeah.
You have to, because if you launch a new Romulan faction without even filling out the KDF, the shitstorm that would result...
It's kind of a slap in the face, because how are you gonna flesh out a whole other faction
there are those words.
without
I think a lot of
squaring
Klingon players
away?
would be happy even if they added a Klingon side to some of the other existing missions.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they would be at least something that gives the KDF players something to do, because all actuality, not including FEs, there's 10 missions for the KDF side? 10?
I mean, having a few KDF only missions would be kind of cool, but having them be able to play the other side of the story on some of the stuff, or an alternative story that's closer
their own
to
story.
existing
Yeah,
one.
or their own story. I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of story potential in the current state of the KDF.
Yeah, there really is. There is a lot of potential, and the player base. This is the thing. Like, the Fed have a good player base. I'd say 40% of the Fed player base are really hardcore Star Trek and Fed fans, But I'll say 95% of that KDF faction is hardcore KDFers. People that have been playing KDF since this game launched in 2010.
They would have to be, because they've had nothing to do. So only the hardcore are left.
I can
You
see
want a
that
free
some...
idea that make a lot of the KDF players happy? A hunting zone.
Yeah, seriously.
I can see that some people probably won't even play unless they can play KDF. A good story.
Yeah. And if you look, and you read the history of the KDF with Cryptic, and I don't know if you've read it, Deez, but I'll get you a link to it if you haven't. And it's pitiful. It's really pitiful what they've done to the poor KDF in this game.
I understand that developing something like an MMO, especially when basically if you're not WoW you die, and being this successful is really good. It's a difficult thing, and things change, especially since there was Cryptic got sold off, Atari went under, things like that. But they really should devote a season or two.
Yeah.
They have no excuse not to.
It's to build it and they will play, and trust me, I know a lot of people that don't play the KDF for the reason is they don't have that. They have KDF characters, but they don't want to play with them because there's really not that much shit to do.
Yeah, if it wasn't so homogenized and like hard to look at, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be a big deal. That fucking interface, man.
Oh, the
That
Romulans
interface-
are going to be
Not
all
the
green.
First city is hideous.
The Romulan interface will be all curvy and green.
Oh God.
I look forward to playing the Romulans, which all the friendly things are green, and all the hostile things are slightly less green.
That'd be like a Borg faction.
All the friendlies are green and all the hostiles are blue. Let's see the fuckers figure out how to use that
At
interface.
which point, every person who's colorblind that couldn't play Klingon screams.
Oh God.
There's two actions I can't play. You prick.
Oh my God. Oh God. I mean, you know my buddy who really, I will say this, one of my best friends, Chris, he really wants to play the Klingon side. He is colorblind. Not to the entire spectrum, but to red. The only color he is colorblind to. He can't play the one faction he is dying to play as.
And it's all fucking red. Even the friendlies. God.
He cannot see the buttons, so he'd have to... The only way he'd be able to play is if the game played itself, and he only flew the ship.
Or if you could change the interface colors.
Right?
Yeah, kind of like a Fallout kind of thing. Like,
Yeah. Just like have presets.
Yeah.
Kind of like in New Vegas, where if you didn't want your interface to be like coyote
Orange?
brown.
Yeah.
You can't tell me in the future where somebody can't change a text color.
Yeah.
Isn't that what that guy in Memory Alpha basically is saying?
Yeah. It's oh God, I actually cannot play the KDF too much because it makes my eyes bleed.
Yeah, it's one of those spectrum. It's like a special mix of colors and shapes where it's and
it's bad. It's not the it's just it's bad for your eyes.
Well, not nausea, but it's one of those things where the image starts to swim together, and it's just
it's
a
just
headache.
It just
Yeah.
it feels muddy and uninteresting and sometimes
Very
hard to
much
use.
so.
It's like looking at one of those hidden eye pictures.
Yeah, basically, that's a good way to put it.
I see a sailboat.
No, those give me less problems with my eyes. And I'm half blind.
Shit.
All right. Moving on from that question, the answer is no. It'll be faction agnostic. It'd be awesome if the Klingons got content of their own. They deserve it, but probably not going to happen.
I applaud you for throwing down the gun.
Yeah, I applaud you, but you're not the first to demand a straight answer from D-Stall and fail to get it. So let's see. Psychotic Vulcan asks, it's probably safe to say the Tholians are among the most mysterious races in Star Trek. Will we see their culture fleshed out, so to speak, in Stowe? Also, we haven't heard from the Undine in a while. What are they up to? This is something that gives me hope. Daniel Stahl answers, we agree that the Tholians are very mysterious, and we have included them in Stowe because we want to delve deeper into who they are and what they want. Whenever we've seen the Tholians, they always seem to be focused on something else, as if they are up to something. We will continue to tell stories that explore who these aliens are and what their goals might be. By the way, Foundry authors will have access to the Tholian space critters and Tholian EV suits as antagonists in next week's holodeck update, which should already be live, so you should already be able to do that.
It's live.
This will also let our players begin to tell their own Tholian stories. As for the Undine, they are going to be returning to the focus after Season 8, when more details begin to emerge about the Iconians and how they have been manipulating other species. No spoilers or anything. For now, it is safe to say the Undine would not be happy to learn this. The question will be whether or not anyone can convince them that they've been puppets. Good luck with that. I like that little bit at the end.
Wow.
That's
pretty funny, actually. Good luck with that, asshole.
I like that. I like having to go up to the Undine and say, "Hey, you guys are idiots."
Yeah, you guys are kind of stupid. What? You heard me. You guys are fucking retarded. Why? Oh, God. You've been playing this whole time.
Especially since you blow up the evidence at the end of A Light in the Dark.
Yeah, isn't that... You know, the best one was the Voyager episode, and it's a good episode. The one where they find Starfleet Academy, completely controlled by the Undine. It doesn't matter the name, but that's the episode. It's a good episode, and at the end of it, what do they do? What does that dumb bitch Janeway do? She gives them the only real counter we have. Well,
except
now we can
for
look
pulse
at
waves, except for pulse waves,
the fuck you
disruptors.
torpedo that we built. Yeah, here's the tech and how we did it, and here's the counters to it. Foreshadowing. This bitch doesn't use it.
Well, Stowe wasn't even a gleam in anybody's eye back then.
No,
people were still playing
and
Dynaverse back then.
Yeah.
Au contraire, Dan Stahl had a dream.
No, he didn't. Dan Stahl can go. Never mind. I like Dan Stahl. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I like his reply. I like the fact that the Undine, because previously it had been believed that the Undine storyline had been wrapped up in one of Kestrel's short stories in the Star Trek magazine. I'm glad that we'll get to see perhaps the conclusion to that storyline in game where it should be. So I'm glad for that. I'm glad to see more of the Tholians. The Tholians are really interesting in the books, although I don't think they'll be using the backstory from the books, because there's an entire series of books that explains how the Tholians came to be. It's called Star Trek Vanguard, if anybody's interested. It's a very good book series. It makes Deep Space Nine look lighthearted by comparison.
Oh, Jesus.
But it's very good, and it explains how the Tholians came to be, and it also explains the connection between the Tholians of the TOS era and the goings-on in the Typhon Pact. Basically, the things that happen in Vanguard are starting to come out into the open in Typhon Pact, and that's why the major cause of the chaos that engulfs the Alpha Quadrant. But I'd like to see more of the Tholians. I'd like to see where Cryptic takes them. And the Undine plot being resolved 2 years after it was left hanging would be nice.
Yeah, it would. It would be very nice.
Can we move on with this, please?
Seriously, been waiting for a resolution now since season 2?
2
Yeah.
or 3 when the
Season
Peleus
2. I left before season 3.
when the Peleus sector block was added.
Season 2, bro.
God.
It's only been 3 years.
Okay. All right. Sir Richard Butt, good lord, asks, What are you most looking forward to in the future?
You!
You! Daniel...
Making more money. Duh.
Probably.
Pretty simple one here.
Yeah.
A lot more of these ass cryptics.
I am a man of simple needs. Daniel Stahl answers, Season 8 and Season 9 are both going to be big releases. I'm very much looking forward to them because they represent the first big releases we will have been able to do with the increase to our live team staff. That's right, they expanded their staff to like 40 people.
And they got a lot of good, I mean,
they got all the people.
Much, they got a lot of really good developers from Studio 38 or
Paragon.
whatever it was, 38,
from like Paragon,
and the other one
City
that closed.
Yeah.
Oh god, the superhero game that was made by Cryptic that
Yeah.
closed because of
Yeah,
douchebags.
Cryptic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
assign
that's
one of those guys.
Paragon.
Yeah,
Okay,
Paragon. Yeah, they got a lot of developers from Paragon and the 38 studios. So
pay,
that
so pay one of those guys to start. So pay one of those guys overtime and start writing potential shit for the KDF.
Well, the thing is, the game has only one official writer, and that's Kestrel. Like all of the text in the game goes through her, and she's the one who writes all the plot. And she has writing chops, but she can only use them to write things that A, she can get away with writing, and B, only when they let her. So
that's why some of the writing is kind of.
she's a really good writer, actually. I've read a couple of her pieces, and I will say she's a pretty good writer, dude.
yeah.
I don't mean to say bad. I just mean to say that you can tell that it's one person.
Yeah, it's obvious, but hopefully they've added. Oh, but sorry, gotta turn my music down. I'm sorry. It's a little loud.
It's not a writing room approach. It's a person.
Yeah, and she does a good job for what she has in front of her.
Yeah, it's all competent. It's good.
Yeah. Next question, I guess.
Well,
Unless nobody else has anything else to add.
Well, I'm still going to this. Increase our team staff. While I can't spoil any of the details on what exactly is coming, it is exciting to come to work every day knowing we are building some great new experiences for Stowe in 2013 that will give fans some of the things they have been wanting for a long time, including myself. It is a wonderful time to be working on Stowe, and while I've always been excited about our potential, it is great to see some of our efforts start to pay off. The game is growing, and it is an exciting place to be for an MMO. That is a very large amount of speaking to say very little.
Exactly. It's a great spin doctor. He really should go into journalism or some form of politics after he retires from game developing. He'd be pretty good at it.
Okay.
White House spokesperson. I was going to say White House spokesperson.
That works.
That'll work.
Somebody can, flap their lips and actually say nothing.
Yeah, I told that to somebody in our fleet. I said, you talk a lot, but really you don't say anything.
Daniel Stahl is almost infuriatingly skilled at saying a great deal that tells you absolutely nothing.
Jack all.
To be fair though, it is his job, and they do have to answer the Perfect World Mad Who are not exactly known for their close and intimate connection with their fans.
No, they're known for their close, intimate fans.
They've been doing a decent job with it.
They're kind of known for being.
They're Chinese, of course they are.
Pretty
cold.
I'm sorry, that was mean. I know.
Let's not start that stuff that happened like when the Perfect World merger was announced. There was a lot of racism on the forums.
Yeah, I'm not racist. I'm actually more political on this one. It's a communist country, and their markets are different. But from what I've seen with their handling of Stowe, they're doing a decent job of it. They're not fucking the community over too much. And come on, they really could have left season 7 the way it was when it launched. And well, we probably wouldn't be having this roundtable because none of us would be playing Stowe anymore.
Yeah.
And 2, they really did listen to the fans, and I will give them credit for that one.
Yeah, they did hear the reaction, and they changed some things.
They changed a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did they in the sense they did their job. They listened to the community, and yes, Stahl still spin doctored it, but it was a lot better than no dilithium and STFs and
Well, it's also
everything.
the fact they listened to the fact they actually responded in a positive manner.
Well, yeah, they listen all the time, but when they actually respond positively is when they actually.
Which is good because some people can get very immature about it.
They were really on damage control, though. No matter what, that was a fuck-up launch to the Season 7. And they were on some massive damage control after Season 7 launched. And
Yeah, because they had so much stuff that they just randomly changed right when it launched that wasn't on the server.
yeah, and the forums were...
That infuriated people.
The forums blew up.
Well, see, and the funny thing is, look at the Tribble forums, and basically what we said was, yeah, this needs to change. And, this is not right. Please change this. And then what was their excuse? Oh, yeah, we wanted the full server server load to see what, how we bring this along.
Then why do you have a test server?
Yeah, that's basically what I was getting at. If you're going to do it that way, then what's the point of a test server? If you're not going to listen at all.
Anyways, let's see. Treadstone79 asks, when will Stowe be released for Mac OS X? Daniel Saul answers, we are investigating this now and would like to see it happen in 2013 if we can work it out. Stay tuned. Just release it for Linux. Release it for Linux and people can get it to work in OS X.
Works for me. Next question.
They would have a common code base with them both being POSIX, so...
Yeah. Just make it for Linux. Get that done. It's not like Linux isn't going to be like taking over the PC scene. It's not like it hasn't taken over everything else.
Yes.
Well, especially not with what Steam is doing and what Valve is doing with their console that's going to be running Linux.
Yeah, the Steam
With-
box.
That's kind of awesome.
So, yeah, I would say develop the Linux build first and then get the Mac build off of that since they're similar but not the same code base.
Yeah, you just like have to like modify it a little bit and it would work fine on Mac OS X. So just do your initial development for Linux and then just like port it to OS X and there you go.
Hey, Alk, this is just a suggestion. I really think we should break this down into 2 parts because we're at 4 hours at least. I think 2 parts is a good idea for this video.
We're almost done.
We're almost
Yeah,
done.
no, this is the last question and then a quick wrap up, right?
Yeah, this is the last question and this is kind of you know he's not going to answer this question straight.
Oh, hell no.
Wild Time 467989 had to be one with a lot of numbers in it. Can you give us a release date for Season 8 and a rough idea of what will be in it? I'm just going to say...
No.
Really quick, I hate you if your name has tons of numbers in it and we're playing a shooter like Halo or Gears, if like Half-Life Deathmatch back in the day, and I'm trying to talk to you over like TeamSpeak or like an Xbox Live headset, and I'm trying to like get you on our team and like come up with a strategy, and I'm having to like call you like XX Steven XX 989523, and there's no quick way I can call that. And you
just give it a pattern with some sort of meaning.
Okay. Why do you think if you look at everything of mine, it always is at input end, no matter what? At input end was my old one. My new one's YDS input, but mainly it all has the same thing. Pretty easy. You can call me input, and I will respond. Hey, input, go do this. Okay. Make it simple. I hate people with, alright, John XX Sniper Pro 0XX 420XX Herb all day 20XX. The fuck am I gonna call you?
Come on, people.
And then there's like 6 guys with the same basic idea of XX, random name, 420XX. Okay, you're 13, you smoke pot. You're a real winner, aren't you, dipshit? Okay, rant over.
Okay, Okay, Daniel Stahl and what was that, Imbeculus?
I was just gonna say, challenge yourself to be original.
I can't say nothing. My character's name is my real name, and
that's fine. but not like whatever, and then you just mashing on the number pad.
Very true.
I'm picturing it too. There,
You can't just like select. You shouldn't pick a name. Something you're making a character. You shouldn't just like click on the bar for the name and then slam your face down the keyboard and rub it around for a few minutes.
Some of the
There you
names
go.
I've seen on Xbox Live, that might be how they do it. They just take they just take the
That's what
chat
I'm
pad
told.
and they just roll it on their forehead for a few moments. I'm sorry if I'm offending people who play on Xbox Live. I play on Xbox Live, but we've all met somebody with a name like that. So
Hey, you're
And
all
we
bunch of
all
dudes.
want to punch them because they all have the, oh my god, look at that quick scope kill. Oh my god, you guys suck. Oh god, knife throw. All right, I'm sorry.
I did a lot of Halo 3 footage and a lot of the matchmaking games that I played. You just described some of the people playing them. So Daniel Stahl answers, we are targeting a May release for Season 8, but production dates are always subject to change. The rough idea is that it will be awesome and have lots of new missions, ships, and things to do. Sorry, I wish I could share more, but you'll have to wait just a little while longer for details. Also, there's a smiley.
It will have things in it.
It will have things for reasons
and or stuff.
and or stuff.
Wait, they're gonna have stuff and
Rest
reasons?
assured-
That's a new
Rest
change.
assured, there will be stuff at some time.
There will be stuff at
Yay.
some time in Season 9.
I would love if he comes on, if he came on this and go, because I'm in love with you. I don't know when, I don't know where, but something is gonna happen. Somehow.
I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know if, but the storyline's going to continue eventually.
Dude, I can just imagine him like not showered, like tired, like bloodshot eyes with a cigarette, like I don't know where. Fucking when.
I may or may not have been instructed to be big.
It's gonna fucking happen.
I can't give you a definitive answer on that.
Like pile of cigarette butts next to him, just like all
No,
jittery and
no.
stuff.
This is what I imagine. Like 3 or 4 empty Pabst Blue Ribbon tall cans, couple empty packs of Marlboro Reds, an ashtray full of cigarette butts, 3-day growth on his face, kind of stained white T-shirt and sweatpants.
Like mustard.
Yeah, mustard stains.
He's Hank
I say all
Hill.
this. I say all this because I'm describing myself without cigarettes or booze.
Yeah, I'm describing myself without the booze. No, wait, nope. There's a Pabst Blue Ribbon can. Never mind, I'm basically describing myself. Oh no, I shaved this morning. Well, as close as a... So, I got... this doesn't need to be in this episode. You can cut this out.
No.
Okay, well, that was nothing important. Anyways. So, that is the Ask Cryptic for January 2013. God damn it. It's 2:56 here.
All 9 hours of it.
All 9 hours.
Oh, I think we should just do a part 1 of right before I left, when my mic decided to go fuck itself. And then part 2 will be the cryptic, because I think that would be better for our viewing audience. Oh, I will say this was a lot of fun though, and my wrap up, I love Season 7, Dominion Lockbox, don't waste your money on it. If you have 90, 60, 70 mil in the bank, I would get one of the ships, but other than that, don't waste your money on it.
Oh yeah, I just checked the Jem'Hadar ship's going for about 80 million to 90 million right now.
I paid 87.5 like 5 minutes after the server came back on, for the sheer reason of it's my birthday. I wanted to get myself something nice. I really like this ship, the look of this ship, and I'm enjoying my $90 million purchase. But that's it. That's my own personal thing. Oh, and well, it was my birthday an hour ago, so yay me.
Birthday.
So, is that it?
When you were hatched, you know it.
To wrap up, I hope we can next time we do this, we can stay on topic more and
Yeah, right.
be more concise.
Just have attention deficit disorder.
Hey, let's aim for the stars.
I'm pretty
God.
sure
I
we'll
think our
reach...
next one. Well, are we going to be doing this for every Ask Cryptic? I'm just curious because I don't mind. I am having fun with this.
I
I'm
don't
down
know
with
if
it.
we can survive that for every Ask Cryptic.
Well, at least every. I do think we should do the February one just for the lulls, and then the one right before May, like
Maybe
the
every season.
Yeah, every season we definitely. I think you have it perfect. Every season we should do a roundtable with us, where we just talk about how much we hate the season.
A 24-hour round.
2 months. And then 2 months.
Just assume
And
that's
then the next week feel
I'm
really...
sorry.
How
But-
much we hated, how much it sucked.
And then the next week I'll make a vlog about how sorry I feel that I was such an asshole.
That we were all
Doing it
such
drunk.
assholes. And then 2 months later, we'll say that it's not that bad a season. But I'm sorry. I will always assume that we will hate the seasons because the only good season up until 6 and 7 was Season 2. Season 3 was a huge letdown, and Season 4 even more so.
5 was a good season, although 5 was basically everything that Season 4 was supposed to have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Season 5 was a great season. It was the introduction of really what saved this game, because I don't think without Season 5 this game would still be here today, and we would not be having our angry rants and our fun off-topic comments.
Hey, as much as we rant and get angry over it, we're still playing. We love it.
Yeah, we all love it. We all love going daka 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 and psst. So, I love this game. I don't think I'll ever stop playing it. I mean, shit, I'm at like 2,000 or 3,000 hours on my main character, and
We only bitch because we love.
yes, and
we can keep coming back to it.
Alright, so... To Dan Stahl, I'm sorry if we've sounded like assholes tonight. We're
Oh,
not.
we're assholes.
Oh, well, maybe, but not intentionally so.
still love you, D-Stall. Kind of. You know, like that odd one-eyed stepbrother that we keep in the closet.
Oh, enough.
I'm sorry. I'm going to hell. Again.
And not just for this.
Oh, no, not for this. I'm going to hell for making fun of Packlids.
Anyways, to Lord Ice, sorry I tried to get in touch with you. I looked for you in game to see if you wanted to join up. Hopefully next time. So, yeah, again, sorry I couldn't get a hold of you. I know that you said he had like a bunch of questions that he tried to ask, and he keeps getting turned down, basically. So that might have been those might have been interesting to discuss, and hopefully we'll have you over next time.
Oh, yeah. He would be an
Yeah.
interesting addition. He would be an interesting addition to our roundtables. And then we could almost beat one half of the 12 Angry Men.
There
Almost.
needs to be someone among us who is sane in any capacity.
Sorry, you won't find it in our fleet.
Besides me, of course.
Didn't you go mad with power when you were briefly in charge of special tactics?
I think we have that on video.
I wasn't mad, it was just enthusiastic with power.
Enthusiastic power. I'm gonna tell that to Fidel Castro next time I see him.
I was the overlord, so I had the right to change the daily message to something fun.
Yeah,
And
I'm not leaving.
Veculus will never be a fleet leader.
Yeah, I have doubts about leaving Shea Gorath in charge of the fucking fleet again.
Nothing was on fire when you got back.
There's still a piece of your starbase stuck to ours. What are you talking about?
You should have put yours there.
It's immobile. I'm still trying to figure out how you manage this.
Emissary!
Oh God, please don't tell me you sent one of your guys to do turbo lift maintenance on your starbase.
Do all the turbo maintenance.
Oh God.
And all of a sudden, the whole station shifted to the side. All the turbulence fired out the opposite direction.
They went to the side.
That's how you move a starbase.